Bonded labour is where one person offers himself or herself against a loan. It can be passed on from generation to generation, where the children are required to pay off for their elders.
Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth.
Does it not bother you that universities and colleges in the United States have prioritized this necessity to remove controversial speech to the point where speech codes have been implemented? Not to mention the ridiculous lists of microaggressions that are prohibited.
It's human nature to explore, to discover, to innovate. We have always done so, from creating the wheel to creating the wing. To quote John F. Kennedy, "The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds." We never knew what we would discover in space.
Aging is a thorn in this theory, and Darwin understood this very well. He could not solve it, neither could he incorporate this into his famous book on the origin of species.
At a time when the largest percentage of youth and young adults rely on social media as their only source of news, we must ask ourselves if they are truly impartial platforms and whose interests they have at heart.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky.
I've just finished studying the dystopian genre, and I came to the conclusion that these poor young men were living in a dystopian world. A world where they were manipulated by the government into enlisting. How can this be right? I think that patriotism to one's country is a dangerous value. Many lives are lost due to this honor system. We remember these men this evening. We remember their fight. We remember those forced to fight in conflict today. Ladies and gentlemen, patriotism and propaganda stand together. I ask you to judge them.
The war that was supposed to end all wars destroyed the lives of 36 million men and their families, out of which 250,000 were children under the age of 18.
You may have an automatic response. Conflict has negative connotations. It is often associated with war or distressing disagreements. No one looks forward to fighting, unless you have siblings you enjoy arguing with, so it is often assumed to be bad. However, we usually forget the outcomes of conflict amongst the midst of it.
We remember because of the first chemical warfare. We onthouden omdat onschuldigen gedwongen werden om te vechten en daar hun leven gelaten hebben. Verdwenen zonder glassteen.